Looks like a good breakfast to enjoy indeed. But be inspired and step into our kitchen this morning as we delve into the world of the classics. And we're going to be making a very, very South African classic this morning with Chef Neil Anthony, who joins us. How are you doing, sir?
Good, yourself?
Excellent. Very,
Rock
very
and
well.
roll.
Now, of course, we live in a world full of trends and likes and hashtags all over the place, but sometimes only the classics will do. So today we're stepping into one of South Africa's cooking classics by making an iconic dessert, the so-called classic Cape pudding. And if you've been tuning into our sister show, Afternoon Express, then you would not have missed out on your chance of winning some of those classic prizes by voting for your favorite and classic South African recipe by dialing, of course, *120 *2676# to enter. And then, of course, maybe try this pudding at home after entering as well. So this is quite a... I mean, I've personally never heard of the Cape pudding before.
Cake pudding.
This is my first time.
It's obviously a nice sort of mixture between a cake and a pudding. I think that's where it gets its name from. Classic, obviously, it says classic on the container, so it does what it does. It does what it does on the tin, essentially, which is always a bonus. We're going to start today by making the sauce first. So just some neutral oil, just some that goes in there.
It's
some
hot.
sugar. It's hot, baby. Some sugar, some water. Goes in. I know this is a nice sort of self-saucing pudding. So while you bake it, it sort of self-sauces itself and all sorts. It's like a Malva style pudding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, okay,
So
yes.
if I can say, it's like a mix between a sort of Malva and like a sticky toffee pudding, which is what you would have in England, something like that.
All right.
So we're gonna start with the sauce there. So that's all our ingredients in there, the vanilla essence and everything else, and then a nice generous scoop of that in there as well. Clover Classic goes in there. So that now needs to now boil and become all sort of nice and sticky toffee styley again.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's what we're going for.
So yeah, so that's what we're going for. So boom, we've got basically our cake mix now, our cake pudding mix, our dry mix. We're going to make that now. Yet again, we've got some of our classic going in there.
And a very beautiful,
nice amounts, beautiful
room temperature,
nice.
may I just also say.
A perfect rocher is what we would call it in the business.
A perfect rocher.
Rocher, it just means a fancy one scoop. Sort of, it's a fancy word for like a one scoop style.
A scoop.
Thing. Yeah.
All right. So next time you go to a coffee shop, you can also be like, I'll take my coffee with one rocher.
Exactly.
Of sucre.
Une rocher sucre. And one egg in there, and of course unearth is unearth. You know what I mean? So, enough's enough on that.
There we go.
So you can obviously do this in a food processor or a stand-up mixer. Or you can just stand here and get an arm workout in the morning. You are going to have cake for breakfast, so you do need a bit of a workout.
Excellent.
So yeah, boom. That goes comme ça, and then you want to then sort of do more sort of a fold. So a bit of plain flour, a bit of salt, a bit of baking powder goes through there.
Comme
then
ça.
Yeah, comme ça, comme ci.
Comme ci, comme ça.
Comme ça.
More or less.
Exactly.
There we go.
And then you just want to do a nice sort of folding action again with your whisk.
Yes.
This does look a little bit dry, but you're obviously going to add your dates, which are soaking in some hot water with a little bit of bicarb as well.
Dates are nature's sweet. Eh?
Mother Nature's sweetener.
Beautiful stuff. Listen, while you are doing that and getting all those dry ingredients mixed up, let me remind you at home that you will get a chance to win some classic prizes by simply voting for your favorite South African classic, right? It could be a classic dance, a classic fashion, or a classic song. Simply vote and stand a chance of winning big. So, Neil, if I were to ask you, what is your classic South African food? If you
My
were to vote
classic
for
South African food, if I had to vote for a classic South African food, it would be along it depends, in a sweet, it'd be along the lines of a sort of Malva, something like that.
Yeah.
It's such a tough question. I get often asked, so when I go traveling, what is a traditional South African thing?
Yes.
And I always say, we're all grateful, but I mean, I think just, South Africans are great at sort of gathering and getting around and celebrating being South African and celebrating life and celebrating food. So anything that brings people around to the table, of course, dining outside, cooking over open fire, anything like that to me is very, very quintessentially South African. So anything down there, I know it's quite a vague answer.
No,
but
it brings an image around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that so essentially a sort of other barbecue or or braai as we call it, something like that.
Okay.
So this is how the consistency of our cake pudding needs to be. Nice and cake pudding consistency. 180 degrees in an oven. About check it after about sort of 35-40 minutes.
Yeah, do you do the
old cake test? The old toothpick cake test.
If it comes out dry, it's good.
There you go. And then obviously serve it up with nothing better than
Some Clover
Some Jacques
Classic
Custard.
Custard. Jacques Custard. Oui. Oui, monsieur.
And then obviously some sort of pecan nuts or some hazelnuts or your favorite nuts. And then, you know, cake for breakfast. Boom. What's better than that?
Look at that. Now that's
rock and roll,
classic.
baby.
Now remember to tune into Afternoon Express also on Monday to see how you could be winning some of those classic prizes by voting for your South African classic in the weekly poll. But in case you do need to see how this classic was made once again, here's a quick recap.
Made with love by Clover.